Delighted to be joined by Peter Cardwell now, talk presenter, of course, and political commentator. Good afternoon to you.
Hello.
Have you taken part in our poll today yet?
No, what's the poll? What's the
poll?
question?
Well, we'll see. Our good friend, Mr. Benedict Spence, is sporting his regular annual Movember moustache. Best thing not to do. I put a picture out. Yes, you've made eye contact. It could attack. Be careful. just pretend you haven't seen it. But this moustache has been it's been a source of much hilarity for me for many years. We did a poll many years back, but I wanted to see any update. I'm asking, does he look like a World War II prisoner of war, an extra in Narcos, a 1970s porn star, or other? Please specify. Now, Benedict has already suggested he looks like the mayor of every Italian town ever. Many people, Bob from Bob Burger's cartoon.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
An extra in the Birdcage movie. Apparently the love child of Renee Artois and Yvette from Allo Allo.
I also like that. That's good.
Tom Selleck. June.
Tom Selleck.
Like
I am leaning.
Not pushy enough for Tom
British
Selleck.
Army General. Des Lynam's little brother. Ron Jeremy's love child. Oh, apparently another says the new James Bond.
Oh,
I mean, a bit too much love for you here.
Yeah.
I'll read out the final results at the end of the show. Peter Cardwell, what do you reckon?
I definitely think 1970s porn star, no doubt about it.
No doubt. Saying.
Another connoisseur of the genre.
Do get your votes in before I read them out. Anyway, Peter,
Hello.
You're here to tell us what happened on PMQs. First question, as always, because it's always the highlights of PMQs. Were there any highlights?
This was probably one of the worst PMQs I've ever seen.
Wow.
Kemi Badenoch was stumbling over her words. Keir Starmer was.
Because she was really good last week.
Yeah, she was, but she was stumbling a bit. They were all a bit prepared. It was, it was sort of all right. Keir Starmer's answers were okay. The highlight, actually, there was a highlight, and that's we're going to come to a little bit later on when Nigel Farage asked a question. But I thought I'd bring you maybe one question, the best of the 6 questions from Kemi Badenoch, because she's really get annoyed about the national insurance contributions. We're back to those people, those people like, let me tell you about Kelly, let me tell you about John, let me tell you about,
God,
the Jeremy Corbyn thing. So we heard about Kelly. I'm not going to bring in that, but we heard about Kelly and her national insurance contributions. But essentially, the key point was about South Cambridgeshire, this 4-day week of the council for CMRs for less money. She brought it up. Keir Starmer accused her of making it up. Let's see what happened.
OK, let's play that clip.
Their ideological budget was designed to milk the private sector and hope nobody would notice. Now his cabinet ministers are all queuing up for public sector bailouts to his tax mess. If he is going to bail out the public sector, then can he tell us this? Does he think it is appropriate, as the Ministry for Housing has done, to approve a 4-day week for councils that is not flexible working, but is actually part-time work for full-time pay?
Questions based on what we're actually doing are usually better than fantasy questions made up. Mr. Speaker, what did they deliver in 14 years? Low growth, stagnant economy, a disastrous mini-budget, a £22 billion pack. And now she wants to give me advice on running the economy. I don't want to be rude, but no, thank you very much.
God, I can't do another 4 years of him. I keep saying this, but every time I can't do it. I really can't do it. So it wasn't her strongest performance, but I mean, it is a point. Full-time pay for part-time work. Everyone says it's really efficient. You can't get anyone to answer the phone at the council anyway.
Well, exactly, yeah, and it's often the way. And there's so many other public bodies as well. People just want a bit of value for money. HMRC, I was on the phone to them the other day. 43 minutes I waited. And
being charged, by the way,
the
whole time. It's not like they don't answer the phone. They answer the phone technically, and then.
Well, then I got through to a human being, and they hung up on me. Literally, I said, "Hello, my name is," and that was it. I mean, didn't even say my name.
To be fair, we all do that at the office to him as well. To be fair,
you don't pick up the phone in the first place. But there was.
He does write a great WhatsApp.
There was actually a highlight at PMQs, and this was the question, not just from Nigel Farage, but in fairness to Keir Starmer, he gave quite a funny answer. So Nigel Farage
we always give credit when it's due.
Yes.
My thing is when Keir Starmer is good, I always give credit. When I'm always going to say, well, let's have a watch and a listen of the exchange between these two men. There's no love lost between these two.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm sure the Prime Minister and the whole House would wish to congratulate Donald Trump on his landslide victory last week. Is that hold on. But within a couple of days, we'd learned of a third assassination attempt. Charges have been laid, and behind it are Iran's Revolutionary Guards. Has the time not come, Prime Minister, to prescribe what is so obviously a terrorist organisation And in doing so, not just do the right thing, but maybe mend some fences between this government and the incoming presidency of Donald Trump's, given that the whole of his cabinet have been so rude about him over the last few years.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see the honourable member making a rare appearance back here in Britain. He spent so much time in America recently. I was half expecting to see him on the immigration statistics when we see him back. But he may have missed. I did congratulate the incoming president last week. And we will work with him. The point he makes about Iran is a very serious point, and we will work across the House and with our allies on it. Obviously, on question of prescription, we keep them under review. Thank you.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite a good line.
That was a proper... The rare appearance is a good line, but
yes.
To follow it up, 30 with the immigration stats.
The funniest thing he will ever say.
That's it. It's been and gone. We've got another 4 and a half years. We're going to have... But the mood in the House... Again, obviously, you said, Kemi Badenoch's still going on about the budget. I mean, quite rightly, because it's actually impacting people right now. This is when we...
and they're waking up to it as well. They're waking up to the implications of the example she gave, someone who runs a nursery for children, 500 children, quite a big nursery. National insurance contribution, something like 10,000 now, will go up to 24,000. So those real-world examples can be quite useful.
Absolutely. And in terms of the general mood of the House, I mean, we have seen Keir Starmer. He's just been off to a European summit, and then he went to Baku, the Azerbaijani capital, where the
back from Baku.
Behave after COP29, but he was pretty much the only world leader who was there. I mean, the French, the Germans, the Americans, the Indians, the Chinese, no one else bothered. I mean, it just shows how unbelievably out of touch he is. But he and Ed Miliband just pushing all their net zero stuff, and now he's sort of come back to the real world. Of course, he flew there and flew back again.
Of course
he did. But I mean, what is the mood on the Labour benches? Because things haven't been going very well.
They haven't. I think they're still giving him a little bit of a chance. They're waiting to see what happens with the budget. But there are a lot of backbenchers on the Labour benches, particularly, who find this very, very hard to sell to their constituents, and they're looking forward to the council elections. I think that's going to be really difficult for
Labour. So far, by-elections, they've been losing an awful lot, haven't they?
Yes, they have council by-elections. We'll see if there are possibly some parliamentary by-elections as well. But Labour not happy.
And what about the Tories in terms of sort of, it didn't actually become nasty and bitter, the battles for the Tory leadership this time around. But Kemi Badenoch was the winner. But I mean, let's face it, Robert Jenrick fought a good fight, and he came, not far off, but she won a solid victory there. Definitely the choice of the members. But is there any evidence the party is now sort of they're getting on with working out what they're going to do next? Yeah,
they're doing a lot of organisational behind-the-scenes stuff. They're looking at money, they're looking at advisors, they're looking at how they will actually, the shadow cabinet will be supported.
Because they've got no money.
They've got no money. They're giving her a chance, I think. It's only been a short period of time, but this was not a particularly good PMQs outing for Kemi Badenoch, so I think she's going to have to get better, but nonetheless, they will be a little bit patient, but their patience will eventually run out.
I was going to say, if Keir Starmer's doing better lines than you, and again, I thought she did an absolutely 10 out of 10 performance last week. Really hit the ground running. But we shall see. Peter Cardwell, always a pleasure. Thank you very much indeed. Don't forget, he's voted. I need you to vote in the moustache poll. Do you have a look at answers? I don't. We talk about so many important things.
Well, this is an important thing.
This is an important thing.
Could there be a sort of high street brand, a sort of cake named after Benedict's caterpillar?
There should be, shouldn't there? Can I ask you just finally, are you very, very upset about The Guardian no longer posting their articles on X, formerly Twitter, because it is a toxic social media platform?
I'm just going to take it a day at a time, Julia. But I know that my artwork, as you know, we get paid on the 17th, and I know my donation will be going to The Guardian as soon as I'm paid, because they're just such a great
right. They always ask for donations, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's not as if they would ever, publish anything that's, I don't know, anti-Semitic or in any way, against promoting the trans agenda or anything toxic like that.
I love it. When are you next on air?
I'm on with Jeremy Kyle later today, and I'm presenting on Friday at 4 o'clock.
Fantastic, wonderful stuff. We'll all look forward to that. Peter Cardwell, thank you very much.